Good day, everyone. For today's video, our topic is regarding the fingerprint type line and pattern area. So pag sinasabi nating type line, ano ba yan? Say type line are the two innermost ridges which start parallel, diverge, and surround or tend to surround the pattern area. So, in short, these are the innermost or the most inner ridges in the fingerprint pattern. In fact, it runs parallel or side by side, then diverge, and then surrounding the pattern area. Later on, we will discuss about the pattern area. Let us first focus in discussing the type line. In determining type lines or type line, we have to follow a certain rules in determining type lines. So just like this one, this illustration, if you notice, titingnan natin. So this is the fingerprint pattern or the fingerprint. So among these ridges, the two innermost ridges that runs parallel, which tend to surround the pattern area, are this one. So, ito po, kung makikita nyo, which mark as A. And we have another one marked as B. It runs parallel and then suddenly diverge. So, kung titingnan natin yung fingerprint, ito yung pinakaloob na ridges which mark A and B, which is considered as the type lines. So, itong nasa gitna, ito, this one, ito yung tinatawag natin na pattern area. So, what are the rules in determining the type lines? So, ito. This one, Rules in determining type lines. So, unang-una, yung titingnan natin is to look for the two innermost diverging ridges. Just like I said a while ago, that yung pinakaloob na dalawang ridges that runs parallel or runs side by side and then diverge and then tend to surround the pattern area. Yun yung una natin titingnan for a type line. Rule number 2. Whenever the ridge that forms a type line suddenly ends, the next ridge immediately outside of it is taken as continuation. So, if that ridge that runs parallel or side by side and then diverge suddenly end, biglang naputol. So, as continuation, titingnan mo ngayon yung panglabas na ridges or ridge para yun po yung magiging continuation ng type lines. Just like this one. Okay, this is the example. So, kung titingnan natin, the first rule is look for the two innermost ridge or ridges. This one mark as A and mark as B. Ito po, ito. Yan, at saka ito. So, among these ridges that can be found here, the two innermost ridges are marked as A and B. So, when we trace this one, iti-trace natin ito, biglang naputol. What's the rule says? Ang sabi ng rule, if it suddenly ends, the ridge next outside of it is considered as the continuation of the type line. So, Saan yung outside ridge that we may consider as type line? Ito po. So this will be now the continuation for our type line, the outer ridge. And then, ngayon biglang naputol. Again, look for outside ridge as a continuation for type line. On the other side, itong type line 2, which is marked as B, when we trace that one, yan, biglang na putol. With that, we are looking for the outside ridge because that will be our basis for continuation of the type line. Ito. And then, bigla naman na putol and it should be we're looking about the outside ridge, which will be the continuation of our type line. Kaya itong si A, ito, type line 1, and si B is considered as type line 2. Kuha? Now, next, the third rule in determining type lines. What is that? Ito. Yan. Okay. Rule number 3 in determining type lines. When a type line bifurcates, the outer branch of bifurcation is considered as the continuation of type line. Very clear. Na pag si type line daw bifurcates or nag-forks, biglang naghiwalay yung isang ridge, the outer branch of the bifurcation, yung panglabas daw na branch ni bifurcation is yun yung i-consider natin as the continuation of the type line. Example, this one. Ito. So, in the pattern area or in the fingerprint, example for a loop, ito. Kung titingnan mo, ito yung always look for the rule on determining the type lines. Ano ito? Ito. So, in this pattern, the loop pattern, titingnan mo muna yung two innermost ridges, which is this one, the T1 or the type line 1, and then the T2. And then, start tracing. Ito. Natitrace na natin. And then, here comes, nagkaroon ng split or forks or bifurcation of type lines. Anong sabi ng rule? The outer branch is considered as type line. Kung titingnan mo, ito yung inner branch at saka ito yung outer branch. Anong sabi ng rule? We will continue our type line considering the outer branch of the bifurcation. Kaya ito. The other hand, type line 2, ito yung pinaka-innermost ridge rather. Ito. And then, suddenly, bifurcates. Ito. Which is, this one is the inner. Pero sabi ng rule, we will be continuing our type line considering the outside branch of the bifurcation as the continuation of the type line. That is why, when we continue to trace the type line, we will consider the outside bifurcation, which is now considered as type line 2. On the other example, again, we are looking for the two innermost ridges. Ito, si T1 or type line 1 and type line 2. So, let us trace. Iti-trace natin ngayon, ito, and then, nagkaroon ng bifurcation. Again, the rule says, pag mag-bifurcate, always consider the outer bifurcation as the continuation of the type line. On the other hand, itong si T2 or the type line 2, when we trace, again, bifurcates, consider the outside bifurcation as the continuation of type line. The same rule applied in the world pattern. This example number 3 is a world pattern. So, when we trace this one, ito, wala ito kasi walang nag-bifurcate, so diretso-diretso lang si type line 1. However, in the type line 2, when we trace that one, nagkakaroon ng bifurcation, still the rule applies outside of the branch of bifurcation is considered as the continuation of the type line. So, ito po yung rule number 3 in locating the type lines. Ano yung unang rule? First, look for the two innermost ridges. Itong pinakaloob na ridge in the fingerprint. Pangalawang rule, if suddenly ends, anong gagawin mo? Pag nag-suddenly end, look for the outer ridges as the continuation of the type lines. Just like this one. Kamu na ha. Ito. Okay. Let's go back to rule number 2. This one. Ito. Look for the two innermost diverging ridge, and then number 2, whenever the ridge that forms a type suddenly ends, the next ridge immediately outside of it is taken as the continuation. Kaya nga ito. Pag suddenly ends, look for the outer ridge or ridges as the continuation of the type line. Moreover, in rule number 3, if bifurcates, consider outer bifurcation as the continuation of the type lines. So, what are the other cases of type line? Just like this example. If in front of this is nagkakaroon ng bifurcation, ito, mark as A and B, anong gagawin mo? Can you consider this one as type line? Yes or no? No. Kasi, hindi ito mag-consider na type line in the sense that it is a bifurcation. Ano yung rule ng type line? What is the rule for type line? The two innermost ridges that runs side by side. So, it is, yung tinitingnan natin dito is diverging ridge. In this one, ito. This is not a diverging ridge. Ano ito? It is a bifurcation. So, can we consider this one as a type line? No, since it is not a diverging ridge. So, in this fingerprint, saan ngayon i-consider natin as type line? Outside of this, ito, considered as two innermost ridges that runs parallel. Ito, other side, ito, are the two innermost ridges that runs parallel. Kasi ito yung makwa-qualify as type line since ito yung diverging ridge that surrounds the pattern area. Itong nasa loob, hindi ito makonsider as the type line kasi this is a bifurcation where in fact, the rule in determining type line, it must be a diverging ridge that runs parallel and surround or tend to surround the pattern area. Just like this example, the same problem. Ito, sa loob ito, dito, is a bifurcation. So, in this example, hindi mo rin makonsider ito as type lines because this is not a diverging ridge. This is a bifurcation. So anong i-consider mo ngayon as type line? You will consider this as the two innermost ridges that runs parallel or side by side that surround or tend to surround the pattern area. That's all. Thank you. That's the end of our topic for today.